Welcome back, guys, to episode 3. Episode 3 already, Tony.
Episode 3. Trace.
Wow. They can't get rid of us now.
No. It's funny that we keep catching on. Well, they don't say anything, so we're going to keep coming back.
That's right. Eh? No, that's, guys, we've gotten some nice compliments and some nice messages.
We have.
And we enjoy it. So we're going to keep this thing going. We got some great stuff to talk about and, all kinds of different subjects. And of course, we'll touch on Rocky. We'll touch on Rambo. We'll hit some movies and maybe some trivia down the road as well. So we've always got stuff to talk about.
Yes, we will. But yeah, the third episode. So this is good. And you're right. I like the support we've been getting from Rocky Land. It's really nice. And even other genres out there,
that's right.
Sent over some nice things. So we must be doing something right. Hopefully.
Yeah. How you been, Tony? How was your week?
It was pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, it was a good week.
Good.
Nice weather.
My brother's birthday's tomorrow, so we're going to go see Top Gun again.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great.
That's what she wanted to do.
Now you're going to see it in the D box this time?
No, I asked her about that. She said no. She wanted to see the regular again because my wife's coming with my younger daughter. My younger daughter didn't see it yet.
Okay.
So, but we might try the D box at another point. We'll see.
Right. No, that's great.
Nothing else going on. How about you up there? How's your weather?
Our weather is, we're in a bit of a heat wave. No, actually, we've gotten a lot of rain, and I think we've gotten that from you guys. You guys had a storm there.
Yeah,
we seem to get a little bit of the, it'll be a day or 2 days later, and they're calling for a heavy rain warning tonight. So we're batting down the hatches. We're bunkering down. So we figured
put a Rocky
down
movie
here
on
and
back.
Put a Rocky movie on and relax. And the Oilers are playing later tonight. They're struggling. They're down 3-0 to the Avalanche. They're on life support.
Oh, they're down 3 games.
They're down 3-0. They need to win 4 straight. So,
well,
it ain't over.
It ain't over till it's over, right?
That's right. Ain't nothing over till it's over.
Right? Where's that from? The 90s?
I think that's probably the 70s. I love that line, right?
Great.
I love how he put that in the movie. So, and anybody that doesn't know, we're talking about Rocky Balboa when he's talking to Mason Dixon, and just some life lessons there from Rocky. So, I'm sure you've all seen that before.
I would hope so. If not, do your homework.
Yeah,
Rocky's generational. I like that he called over his son for that too, and he said, "No, Robert, you hang here with me." And everybody else left.
I did too. Yeah,
I love that. I love that. Give the kid a little full of life lesson, like you said. But they are, man. They're generational movies. I mean, my daughters love them. They're in their teens.
Yeah.
They're just little kids love them. I mean, it's so. I told you before, if I have a shirt on or something, even younger kids will say something to me when they see the shirt, or they know the typical Yo Adrian and stuff like that. But it really is. It's generational to all walks of life. It is something that won't ever go away because it can apply to every decade of living. I mean, no matter when you were born, you're going to have heartaches and troubles and hills to climb and, keep moving forward and all that stuff. So, no matter how old you are, it's going to be there. It's going to be there to motivate you. And that's why I like it so much too. Yeah. But the funny part when you really see things is that it's all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's right.
It just must be amazing to have that. Something he created. Every walk of life across the planet knows of Rocky.
That's right.
In one form or another. They know maybe the arms up, they know the Yo Adrian, but they know of him, and to have it affect the whole planet, that's insane.
The thing is, if you show somebody a picture, let's say you show them a picture of, let's say Yankee Stadium. Mm-hmm. And then you show them a picture of the Rocky Steps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guarantee you, everyone is going to know what those steps are.
Yeah,
a lot of people may not know what the Yankee Stadium is. Now I know it's a new Yankee Stadium, but they made it.
Yeah, but still,
like the old one. But you show them a picture in the UK of the Rocky Steps, and they're all going to know what that is.
Yeah,
they may not know what the building is on top, as I didn't when I was younger.
A lot of people don't even know it's a museum. Right. But they know it's more well known for the Rocky Steps than the art inside. So
that's right.
I'm
And
no,
he,
nothing
you know what?
against the art. No offense.
He even
but,
said that. He even used that in Rocky V.
yeah.
Been running up and down these steps all these years, and I never knew there was valuable pictures.
I never knew it was in there.
Right? So, but his son said, "You're going to love Picasso."
Countries, all everywhere. Even Canadians love them.
Mm-hmm.
And they got best bet the both worlds up there. They got Rocky and Rambo.
Yeah, that's right.
Do they like one more than the other? Like this is in Canada, does Rambo mean more than Rocky does?
You know what? It's hard to say. I think we get caught up in it like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a Rocky movie on, when there's a Rambo movie that comes out. Now, we do have a little bit personal connection to Rambo,
right?
In Hope, British Columbia. That's where they filmed First Blood, and they filmed it in 1981. It came out in 1982. But so we take a little bit of pride that they chose that location, Hope, British Columbia. And
is that near you?
No. So you're
opposite side.
Yeah, that's on the other side of the literally the other side of the country. So
yeah,
if I was to drive
like New York
there,
California,
it would be about 42 hour drive. If that's going straight. No one's going to drive 42 hours. But let me see here. I got some pictures.
Yeah, now Hope is not the real name of that town, correct? Is that correct? If I remember, is Hope the real name of the town?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Hope's the real name. Okay,
but so in the movie, it was called Hope, Washington. They made a fictitious name,
right?
But it's called Hope. And let me see if I can get my pictures here. And here's a picture from the movie.
Welcome to Hope.
Oh, sorry.
That went by fast.
Back up.
There we go.
So now that sign, they took a piece of that sign. It's still there in one of the parks. They took it down. That was obviously for the movie.
Okay. The gateway to holiday part.
The gateway to holiday part.
Okay.
And the other thing is this statue is in the town.
Look at that.
So that was, and I apologize. I hope we get his name right. Ryan Villers created that statue and presented it to the town. Sly actually commented on it on his Instagram, and they did an article. So that's a pretty cool. Now
statue. Is it? It looks like it's wood.
It's all wood. Yeah,
it is really
carved in wood. Yep. This guy does all kinds of carvings, and
that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, see, the lines are down the street to take the picture with that statue, like the Rocky statue.
Yeah, that's right. They actually have a gentleman that will dress up like Rambo and reenact some of the scenes.
Oh, really?
So I think that's part of the characters the Sly creates, right? Like people get so invested in these characters, right? So,
that's why I was thinking maybe Canada had a little more of an attachment to Rambo than Rocky, because same thing with the Northeast area being closer to Philly. More of those people are definitely more attached to him than Rambo.
Right.
But that's an amazing statue. That's really cool.
No, that's great. And the thing is, with First Blood, they changed a lot. Like I have the book here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can get that up my camera. So the book by David Morrell. It actually came out in 1972.
Yeah.
This is not the original copy, but this is a copy. It's quite a bit different from the movie because when they got Stallone on board, he became part of the screen, did some of the screenplay. There was 3 of them, and they changed quite a bit of the dialogue. One of his requests was to take out most of Rambo's dialogue. He felt it would be better. Some of the dialogue was kind of corny, and he didn't think it would be effective. The thing with Sly is he really knows what an audience wants, right? That he has the ability to read an audience. He's been doing this for so long. So they kind of went with his idea of giving him less lines.
I mean, he's a loner soldier, right? Who's obviously misunderstood in the real world outside the military.
Yeah.
He's not going to be chatty, so it was smart of them to cut out his dialogue.
So there's another scene from the movie. Now that bridge, believe it or not, they dismantled it. They got rid of it about 12 years ago. The town actually tried to save it. They tried to save that bridge. They didn't want it to go, right? But now I don't know if they raffled it off or they gave it away, but there was people were getting pieces of it and they were having
really?
contests. So it might have been a charity thing, but they were like, like anything else, having a piece of that bridge, right? And in your collection. So they take it pretty seriously. They get a lot of tours. There's filming locations of different spots.
So there's a Rambo tour. Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if it's an actual tour, but there's like you can go there and they film. I think they film maybe 5 or 6 movies there a year, maybe, or are parts of the location. And they said, I was reading that they said that nothing has had the impact like First Blood. Like everybody takes First Blood and they think of their town. So they, so it's a little closer to their heart and our hearts in Canada. So to be part of the topic. And the other thing was, now you've seen First Blood, of course. Yeah. Richard Crenna, who played Sam Troutman, was not the first choice for Sam Troutman. He
was not.
Al Pacino turned it down. Al Pacino turned the role down, and then they were going to give the role to Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
And Kirk Douglas wanted to make all these changes, and Kirk Douglas, the funny thing was he started, talking in the third person. Kirk Douglas wouldn't say this line. Kirk Douglas wants to do it like this. And then they eventually said, why doesn't Kirk Douglas go back to LA?
Right.
And they got Richard Crenna.
And you know what? And Crenna, not that he's not a well-known actor, because in a movie community, everybody knows Richard Crenna, or may not even know by name, but they know him. But Kirk Douglas obviously is a lot bigger of a name.
That's right.
And I actually think it worked out better that it wasn't such a star level name for Troutman.
Mm-hmm.
I think it worked out better for that movie.
Yeah, but he, like I said, he came in. They gave him the script on Friday. He showed up on Monday, so he was reading his script on the plane, flying in, and he hadn't memorized any of his lines. So he would, for the first few scenes, he would be like, "Line," and they would feed him his lines. And I mean, we all know the lines from Rambo. Like if I would say to you, God didn't create Rambo.
Yeah.
I did.
Like, no,
we all know who said that.
I did.
We all know who said that.
It's such a perfect intro to the character too, right?
Yeah. And that is, we always have these first characters, right? We go back to Rocky and the first time you see Mickey and he taps him on the shoulder and he says, "Shut up." Like
yelled at him right away.
Like it's unbelievable how we meet some of the characters for the first time. But Teasel, the scene where they set up. So let me see the book. Like I said, the book is quite a bit different. If I'm not going to spoil it,
I mean, if
it came out in 72,
based off a novel, it is usually different in a lot of. I have not read the book, to be honest with you. So but I will now. Now that I hear it's so different, I do want to see how different it is.
Right. So I'm not. Yeah. I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna spoil this from anybody. But read the book, and we'll discuss that some other time. Like the changes between the books. That's another whole episode. The books to the movies, because they did books on the Rocky movies too that are quite a bit different, right? So, and
that's actually the only spot that you see that he's called Robert, not Rocky, is in the book. Mm-hmm. They never even mentioned it in any of the films. Right. That was his name. But Crenna did a great job in that movie. He really did. I liked him. He played the. I like how he was warning, the sheriff, Brian Dennehy. He's like, "Look, man, you guys are going to get killed."
Yeah.
And Denny's looking at him like, "Stop! He's one guy."
Yeah, yeah. And then, we all got to do our job, just like the people in the special forces, right? But we're just a small down sheriff department. So, but he was warning them. He said, let it go. Just let him go. Give him a space, and then we'll pick him up in a gas station. Yep. Nobody will get hurt. Nobody get killed. So,
yep. And if you would listen, obviously it wouldn't have been as exciting of a movie.
No, that's right.
It would have been true.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it was a combination of, the sheriff's this kid's not going to tell me what to do in my town, and pride and, long-haired hippie. Yeah. But he just wanted something to eat. That was all he wanted, man.
All he wanted was something to eat, right? So the man kept pushing.
And it's funny, too, because some of the other characters in that movie were played by later on. Well, David Caruso's in it, and he obviously had a bigger career after that.
Yeah. Brian Denny.
And he was already, established actor.
Sure. Yeah. And he's no longer with us, but I said, that's the beauty about movies, right? They live forever on film. and some of the roles, like, I mean, I can't see anybody playing that role other than Teasel, right? So, and then of course Sly did most of his own stunts in that movie, right? And there's a scene where the cop car flips over, and like, you know, Brian Denny and Sly both had broken ribs in that movie. And
oh, really?
So when they did the scene where they jumped off the cliff, when he jumped off the cliff,
right?
Sly didn't do the initial stunt where he jumped off the cliff. He did the ending where he was falling through the trees. They had to do it 4 times, right? So after the fourth time, you break a rib, we'll just take what we got. But the stunt man, he suffered some serious injuries from that fall, like a sternum and a spleen injury. So, like, these stuntman guys, I'm telling you,
back then
when they make it, you know, there's no CGI, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you want me to do? Jump off the cliff? All right. Well, he jumps off a cliff and
put a couple pads here and there, and then off they go.
Zoom into Sly's face, and who gets all the accolades, right? Not the stuntman, but these guys. You ask you know, Stallone and The Rock, and they couldn't do it without these stuntmen, right? So and stunt women too. Let me make that clear. So
Now I remember I read correctly that the brown tarp thing that he ties around himself, that was improv.
Yeah, it was just.
Is that true?
You know, I did. I agree. Like that's what I heard too, and he just saw it, and I mean, there's. Like I said, you have the ability to think on the fly sometimes, and sometimes you just gotta let the camera roll, right? So it's not always going to work out.
Rummaging through that little area there, right. And he's freezing, trying to figure out what to do.
Well, the original film was 3 hours, and they were never going to put a movie out 3 hours long, and they whittled it down to 90 minutes. But they also had an alternate ending. So the ending for First Blood was John Rambo doesn't survive.
Right.
He commits suicide, and Troutman has a gun in his coat. He pulls it out, and Rambo grabs the gun, pulls the trigger. They thought, okay, we're going to wrap up. And the director said, okay, we're going to do. Now, this was Sly and him talking, like, you know, he's been shot at. He's been harassed. He's been jumped off a cliff. He's been running through freezing water. Like, are we just going to let him die at the end of this?
Right.
You know, what if we do another one? And the producers didn't want this, right? They were like, no, you're over budget. You're over time. There was arguments, and the director said, look, this is what we're doing. They filmed 2 endings. And obviously, I think we all agree that they went with the right choice.
Yeah, so, definitely. There wouldn't have been any others, so that would have been points. But he's right, though. I mean, he just did all that. He went through all of that, and, you know, it didn't just, you know, give in to the sheriff. Yeah. And then he just, you know, goes and offs himself. I mean, that's, you know. Yeah. I agree. I mean, it wouldn't have been as climactic of an ending. And, you know, the way the ending was, I mean, it's more realistic. Mm-hmm. You know,
well, even later when you see him in First Blood Part 2 and they're on the boat and she says, you know, why are you here? And he's like, long story. She's like, long ride. So he starts, it keeps affecting him, right? Like, he says, I went back to the States and I found out there was another war going on. You know, she's like, what war? And it's like, war you can't win, you know? So it really touched home, I think, with a lot of, I can't speak for myself, but I mean, I think that movie touched a lot of veterans, right? Like the effects that they had.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, it really did. You know, PTSD was, you know, addressed in the movie, and shows that it's, you know, it's hard for them to come home to see what they saw and do what they've done. You know, and some of them, you know, unfortunately are homeless and jobless and having a hard time making ends meet or whatever the case may be. So I'm sure they could relate to it. And this was 82. I mean, so it wasn't that far removed from Vietnam.
Right.
You know, it was about, maybe, if I had to remember correctly, maybe 5-6 years removed.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, that's just like when David Caruso reads his file.
Right.
Like, this guy's a war hero, man. What are you doing? Like, what are you trying to do? I mean, he's got every accolade there is.
That's right.
But yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, we could talk about Rambo, you know, as much as you want. Like I said, you definitely know more about it than I do.
Like I said, it was, I think when I seen it, it was just, I mean, like I said, I love Rocky. I love all Sly films. it was just something about the Rambo, when, like the First Blood when it came out. It was just such a good movie. And like I said, there just wasn't a lot of dialogue in the movie, but you knew what he was doing or what he was facing. And it just, I don't know. It was just, like I said, I saw it when I was about, I would have been about 12, I think, when I saw it. About the same time. Yeah. So it came out in 82, and I saw it probably a couple of years later on VHS, and I really didn't know anything about it. We just, we read the back of it and said, no, this looks pretty good. So, and boy, it was pretty good.
Well, speaking of everything being pretty good, we're going to have a nice little quick segment every week we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about doing a trivia segment every week. We'll do a little Rocky, a little Rambo. And since we're talking Rambo, let's see if you know your Rambo trivia there.
All right.
We'll do a little trivia. 1 or 2 questions, nothing crazy, nothing to put you on the spot.
Trivia night. Look at that. That just reeks of the 80s right there, right?
Isn't that cool? It really does. It looks like something you'd see in Blockbuster, right?
I think, is that Mrs. Stallion give you that picture, did she?
No.
Did you find that one
all on my own. So, But so let's see. So Rambo trivia. I came up with a couple questions. One's pretty easy for you.
Okay.
And one I'm sure you'll get, but I'm not 100%. So in First Blood, Rambo, in the beginning of the movie,
mm-hmm.
You see him walking on that farm, and he goes to talk to the lady doing her laundry, and he went there to see one of his old Vietnam War buddies. Mm-hmm. So who was he going to try to visit?
He was going to see Delmore Berry.
There you go.
And he came up and said he got, what do I got? Tissue and junk in my pocket here.
Yeah.
And he says, here he is. He goes, we had to put him in the back. He was so big. If we put him in the front, he'd take up the whole picture.
Right.
Right. And she says, Delmore's gone. He's just gone. Died last summer. So he never got to catch up with his buddy, but it was Delmore Berry.
Yep, that's correct. That was the one I thought you would get easy. I kind of figured that. So the second one I came across, I didn't think was as easy. Probably easy for you, but I don't know about the rest of the Rambo fans. Mm-hmm. So when they arrested him and they brought him to the station, mm-hmm. Sheriff turned him over and said, "Okay, book him." And so what did he claim to be arrested for, and what was he getting booked for?
Well, what did he claim he was booked for?
No, the sheriff was saying, book him for this. I mean, he was making stuff up because he wanted
to. Yeah.
But so he was claiming to arrest him for, and what was he arresting him for?
Vagrancy.
Vagrancy, yep.
Vagrancy, yeah. Yep. And I believe it was carrying a concealed weapon.
Yep.
And
then one more.
Okay, let me see here. I probably should know this, but...
Well, he was giving the sheriff a hard time by getting arrested.
Resisting arrest, wasn't it?
There you go.
Because I remember he pulled out the knife and he says, he gave it to him and he says he used it for hunting. He says, what are you hunting? Elephants? Buffalo or elephants? Anyways, I think it was buffalo.
See, you swept the Rambo trivia.
So well, I had to think about it because I knew it was vagrancy. I knew it was resist. Well, I didn't know the resisting arrest.
I know it's funny because I'll say how much I know about Rocky, and then I always get scared I'm not going to know the answer to a trivia question. Look like a fool.
People will be saying, you don't know anything.
I know, right? Some of them. There's some obscure stuff in there. That some others might not know.
Well,
like the obscure ones.
Let me flip the tables here on you since we're doing some trivia night. We'll try some Rocky trivia here. Okay, so let me see. So in Rocky, now, first of all, can we just say that it's Rocky, not Rocky 1?
Oh, agreed.
I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, you and
it's
I.
Rocky.
I don't
Rocky
think we did
2,
it in the show, but
Rocky 3.
It drives me crazy when they call the original movie 1.
Yeah,
no matter what it is. Back to the Future,
Rocky 1.
Jaws, anything.
Yeah.
Rocky. You say the original, that's fine, but it's Rocky. That's it.
So in Rocky,
there you go.
We see Rocky come into the locker room and open his locker or attempt to, and he can't. So he tries again and he can't. So he thinks he forgot his combination. So where does Rocky keep his combination?
I wish I would have been prepared. I would have brought my hat out and showed you. Took the fedora off and he took the little paper out.
That's right. Write it down.
Still didn't work.
You know what? I have to write everything down. My kids bug me that I have a smartphone and I can keep all that information. I still use the back of an envelope to write our grocery lists.
Pen and
And,
pen.
and I'm the one. You can tell the older people at the grocery store were walking around with a list
paper
and a piece of paper. And
That's
I'm not
good.
even using a new piece of paper. I'm using the hydro bill. I'm
Right.
using the back of the envelope for the grocery list because, it's okay.
That's funny. It's
all
true
right.
though.
Oh,
It's true.
yeah.
I do the same thing.
All right.
Do the same thing. So yeah, it was in his hat. He had it up in his fedora.
Write
And
it
then he
down.
still didn't open it, so he smashed it with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he wasn't very happy that his stuff wasn't in there, right?
No, when he saw the locker stuff was definitely not his, he was definitely upset.
All right. So Apollo Creed in Rocky,
Mhm.
the bicentennial fight, was not originally supposed to fight Rocky. Who was
Correct.
he originally supposed to fight?
Oh, I know this one. Mac Lee Green.
Mac Lee Green.
Right, then he broke his hand.
He broke his wrist.
Or something
Yeah,
in his hand.
broke his hand. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Good
Mac
one.
Lee
Yeah.
Green. Took me a minute though. You almost got me.
That's good. All right. So those were easy ones. I got a hard one for you now.
Oh, you got 3.
I got 3. I got one more. Well, I got it. You blew through the first 2 pretty good. So in Rocky, so the man he works for, Gazzo, is a loan shark. Gazzo pays him cash. Okay. How much money does Rocky get from Gazzo in the first movie?
Total for the whole movie?
For the whole movie.
Remember we gave him $20 when he picked up the money from the guy. He didn't break his thumbs.
Yep.
So that's 20. And then he got 50 for going on a date with Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Here's $50. Have a good time." You remember he goes, "How do you know her name?" Don't you know I hear things? A lot of canaries flying around the dock. And then when he went to Pat's cheesesteak, he gave him $500 for training. So that's $570.
$570. You did it.
Yeah.
You know what? I was proud of myself. I thought there's no way he's going to get this. I'm going to say, I honestly thought he's going to say $500 because he gives you $500. But you're right. You give him $20 for collecting. He gave him $50 for a date.
For the date. Yeah.
And he gave him $570. And the reason that's so important is because in 1976, $570 was a lot of money.
$500 is a lot of money. Yeah. So when he gave him that for training, then he went back over and took the cigarette out of his mouth.
Yeah.
He said,
"Come on, we're training, eh?" I love when he went up to him and he says, "You got any money?" "I got a few dollars." He never. I think Rocky was always so proud, right? Like he always never said, "Oh, I'm broke" or "I've got nothing." And we knew he didn't have anything. I mean, look at his apartment, right?
Oh,
he's working for a loan shark and he's fighting.
That's the whole
clubs.
episode itself. That apartment, you could just pick that apartment. Oh my goodness.
We could just put that on the screen and we could just talk about that for probably 2 hours.
Item. Exactly.
Turtles, the empty beer bottles stuck in the back of the couch.
Oh, and if I remember correctly, wasn't there rifles and stuff around in that room too? If I remember correctly.
Jeez.
I think there was a couple rifles or a couple swords or something. There was weapons. I know that.
Maybe a sword. I don't know.
Maybe he was premeditating Rambo. I don't know.
I'm going to have to go back and look at that.
I know. Same here.
That. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, all right.
So you want to do a little more? Or you want a couple more? I had some Top Gun trivia.
Oh yeah,
from
original
last
Top
episode.
Gun.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Well, we're not going to spoil the Maverick yet. So let's do some.
No. I think you're right. We were going to talk Maverick this week. I think it's a little too soon. Tim and I talked. We think it might be. We'll give you one more week. All right, one more week to go see it.
Go see it, and then we're going to spoil it for you.
Then we'll put a disclaimer on there. Spoilers alert. Don't.
We need something to talk about, right? So.
Exactly. So all right. So original Top Gun. So they had the pilots back to back in the F-14s.
Okay.
Maverick was in the front. Goose was in the back. Goose was Maverick's Rio.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what does Rio stand for? I know we talked about this. So I know you know this.
Yeah.
I know you.
Okay.
Do. You got it.
It's okay. It's radar. I know it's a radar officer.
Yep. Oh, all you need is that eye.
Oh, geez. I was gonna say inspection, but that's not right because he's got to do something. It's something to do with intercepting, right?
Yeah.
Is it
well, that's
intercepting
right
because
there,
he's got to
Radar
intercept the?
officer.
Okay.
Yep.
You know what? I had to think about it because I knew he was obviously they're both officers. He's the I knew he did the radar because there's another MiG coming in.
Yeah,
so
he's sitting in the back. He's got the radar.
I always get that wrong, and I always think inspecting, but what are you inspecting? You're in the air, right? Like you don't have time to inspect. So
that's right.
That's a hard one. Yeah.
No, he's looking out for everything else, making sure Maverick's not getting attacked in angles you don't see.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a Top Gun question now. So we'll flip it back to you.
All right.
So at the beginning of the movie, we see a situation where, they're in the air. They get involved with the MiGs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the pilots has a breakdown. They get him back to the ship.
Right.
Although they weren't supposed to because they were low on fuel. Okay. So who was the pilot that had to turn in his wings that made Goose and Maverick number one? Maverick and Goose are number two.
Oh,
the pilot was number one. What was the pilot's name?
I don't remember the second pilot's name. I'm trying to think of the one that went in the office. He said, "I almost orphaned my kid. I haven't seen him yet."
Yeah, he says
it was Cougar.
You did it. Cougar. Yeah, Cougar.
That was Cougar, but I can't remember whose Cougar's Rio was.
Yeah. I can't remember. I can't remember. So, guys, listen, if you guys can tell us, because our memories are starting to slip here as we get
I might have known an hour ago and I forget now.
Drop us a comment and tell us who his wingman was, because they do have a conversation with Maverick. They said he's not good, Mav. Like that MiG shaked him up pretty bad.
Yeah.
So he actually had a part. He had some lines.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't remember
because Maverick was talking to him because Cougar wasn't saying anything when he was.
No, he was just gone. Right.
He was all just freaking out and spacing out.
Yeah. That's right.
I don't remember who it is though. I can't remember. I want to say Hollywood, but I know that's not right.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
No.
But let us know down there in the comments below, or let us even know if you like the trivia. Maybe we'll do a different format with it. Maybe we'll just ask questions and leave you to answer them, or maybe we'll answer them ourselves, or we're just playing around trying to see what segments work, what don't work, and take it from there. So if you liked it, let us know in the comments below. Definitely.
Yeah, that's great. No, I want to go back real quick though, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just give, just because we were talking about Hope and BC, I want to give a shout out to a friend of ours, Joanne Yee. So we connected with Joanne through the Rocky Files.
Mm-hmm.
Joanne's had a bit of a struggle, so health-wise. But I'm happy to see her today. She posted that she was back to work today for the first time.
Nice.
So we just want to give Joanne, we just want to give you a shout out and say that we're so happy that you're doing better. We're all pulling for you. We're all in your corner. That's Absolutely. The beauty of Rocky Land, Tony. We all stick together.
Sure is. I don't say the shout out is as cool as Tim does, Joanne, but I'll say the shout out. I don't know if I did that Canadian accent good or not, but no, absolutely. It's so good to see her up and go. She's the definition of keep moving forward, man. She had a lot handed to her and got hit and took the hits and kept going. Yeah, good for absolutely. Her. I'm happy.
We don't have a holiday in June. We have one coming up on July 1st, Canada. Okay. You guys have July 4th, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I'm telling you, Joanne we could have a holiday for that lady. She's a good Canadian girl, and we're all happy she's feeling better.
And that's the funny part about the Rocky community, so to speak. You wind up, somebody will message you or comment on your post or say they like this or that or the other thing, and you don't know where they're from. You just know they like Rocky, and you're kind of connected through that. And then you find out they're from Canada, like my co-host pal here, or you find out you're from Florida, or even further out, you're from England, or Romania. Or, Karina is a huge Rocky
oh my goodness.
fan. I know she comments and posts about everything on Rocky, and a very sweet girl, but she's from Romania. I mean, when in the world would I ever speak to anybody from Romania?
Oh, yeah.
And
you know what? When this airs, she was in the comments in our last episodes. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. when this is on, people. So if that's not dedication to, supporting people in the Rocky Files, I just want to say thank you very much, Karina.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for getting up or staying up or whatever it is you do to watch the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's so cool, though. I mean, they're from everywhere. You just don't know where to go. I mean, Carol's from
Mississippi. Yeah,
I just chatted with her last week about something, and
another huge Rocky fan, Carol.
They're all over. I mean, now Stacy's in Tennessee.
Yeah,
but it's pretty cool. It really is pretty cool.
We got Rick in Syracuse, right? So
who?
Rick Babcock.
Yeah, he's way up in Syracuse or upstate New York area. I know that.
I like how you say way up. For me, it's like
well, I'm way down, so of course you're way up.
It's like kind of beside me. It's not way up.
Well, I mean, if I say down, I'm talking about Cuba.
That's right.
There's nothing else down.
It's funny how
West Palm,
how the world works, right?
West Palm is down and across from me, so it's
Well, that's like I said. Vancouver is for us is I could drive to Florida and back the same amount of time it would take me to get to Vancouver.
Well, like I said, it's like a New York to LA type of trip. It's 3,000 miles. New York to LA. My wife and I drove that before. It was 43 or 44 hours straight.
Yeah,
you wind up becoming Jack Nicholson in The Shining by the time you get to New Mexico.
There's another show. We could talk The Shining for a whole show, right? So
we could say, I mean, that's another classic that you have to see.
Yeah.
Once we get towards October, maybe that's what we'll do every week. We'll do some
just the music in The Shining. When that music hits, I'm just like, I don't have a good feeling already. This is gonna go bad.
I'm already freaked out. Nothing happened yet.
There's a Rocky connection to that too, right? So
enlighten me because I don't know where you're going.
Okay. So the actor that plays Duke, Tony Burton.
Oh yes.
Is in The Shining. Sorry, everybody was waiting there for me to say something, and I was in my mind. I was trying to get it out.
I was not. I had no idea where you were going, but you're right. I forgot about that. Tony Burton is in it. Yeah, that's right. He is in that. It's brief, but he's in it.
Brief, yeah. But like I said, it's funny. My dad used to watch movies, and oh my God, it drive me nuts. So we'd be 10 minutes in. Who's that guy? Well, what movie was he in? Well, he's in this one.
Oh, he's a
so why don't we watch it? Like we can talk about this afterwards, but he was like,
he's in The Shining.
Yeah. Well, what movie was he in? Well, he was in this. Well, what else was he in? I've seen him before. Of course he was, because he's an actor.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
And then my dad would say, "Well, how does this movie end?" I don't know. Well, I'm going to go to bed. Let me know. Yeah, he wanted to know the end because he wanted to go to bed. My dad worked on a farm when I was growing up. He was a farmer, right? So he was up at 5:30. 5 o'clock, 5.
So he wanted to go to sleep and just, okay.
He wanted to go to sleep. So he would never make the late show. I asked him to go see Top Gun, Maverick.
Right.
And I said, is it 10:15? Oh, no.
I know. That's like Sophia bought us tickets for tomorrow night. Tomorrow's her birthday.
Yeah.
So we'll have an early happy birthday to my Sophia.
Happy birthday, Sophia.
19, hence the lovely color hair.
Oh, she can drink now.
Easy. Can't drink
now.
United States, 21.
Oh, well, you guys got to do something about that. Come on up to Canada. Sophia, come on up to Canada.
Go see Tim.
We'll party. You only have to be 19. She's probably in the car right now.
She bought the movies tickets for tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So I'm doing the math. I'm like, it's a 2 hour and 17-minute movie. I'm like, I'm not even leaving the theater until 9:30. I'm like, oof. I mean, I get up at 5, so I like to try to hit the sack a little early.
Yeah.
If I could, but all good. It's her birthday. That's fine.
No, that's great.
I was surprised she wanted to go see it again. I said, what do you want to do for your birthday? She's like, well, we always go to movies on my birthday. I'm like, okay, what do you want to go see? We saw everything that's out there right now. Nothing new because Jurassic World is Friday.
Okay.
So
are you going to see that?
Yeah, we're going to go see that. But
tomorrow, you want to do something on your birthday, right?
Yeah. So you like the Jurassic movies?
I do. Yeah. Let me see. I want to be cool here and know exactly how many there are, but
I'd have to think about it too. I'd have to think about it too. So this
one, the trailer, because the trailer they played at Top Gun it seems to have the original cast in it.
Yes, it
Even
does
the
now.
professor,
it came back.
Is no longer with us.
Original people. They got Jeff Goldblum and oh my God, Sam O'Neill.
Yeah. Now Sam O'Neill has passed away, has he not?
Since then, I don't know if he did or not.
Okay, I thought he did.
And then the young lady's Laura Dern.
Okay, yeah.
Laura Dern.
Yeah,
and they were in the. But I believe there's 3 Jurassic Parks, and then I think this is the 3rd Jurassic World.
Right. Okay.
Again, guys, in the comments, let us know if we're wrong, which we probably are. So, because I like them and I do watch them, but I'm not a massive fan.
I remember the very first one, and I was.
Oh, that was.
I had my own. I had my first, apartment, and of course we're back to VHS. So I rented it at Jumbo Video. Did you guys have Jumbo or Blockbuster? You did Blockbuster back in the day, right?
Yeah, Blockbuster.
So we had both. We had Jumbo Video first, and then Blockbuster moved in. So I rented Jurassic Park, and for whatever reason, I put it on at midnight. I said I'm going to get this at midnight because, see, if you rented a movie at 12:05 a.m. Now this is a little trick. So if you rent a movie at 7 o'clock at night, you had to bring it back the next night, right before midnight. Right. But if you rented it at midnight, you got it for actually 2 days,
like an extra
technically into the first day. So they were open 24 hours.
Just make sure you be kind and rewind.
Yeah.
Don't turn it back, not rewind.
Yeah, it was cheaper to keep it and rent it again than pay the rewind fee.
It was.
So
that's funny.
But I remember watching that.
I think the original came out what, 93? 92?
I think it was 92.
Yeah, 92 sounds about
92, 93, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember in the theater.
The scene I remember the most was they were in the cars and he went up and left the kids in the car and the glass of water was sitting on the dash.
Yeah.
And you hear
yeah. And actually, here's a good piece of trivia for that scene. Spielberg didn't like the way the water was doing it when they were pounding they were hitting the car to make it move.
Right.
And it doesn't look right. It doesn't look like something's coming. Mm-hmm. So they actually put a bass guitar string in the dashboard of that car.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And plucked
I never knew that.
String. Yeah.
Really?
When they plucked it, came that perfect circle where it just went like that.
I just remember saying, holy, this is not going to be good. Yeah. Like, I just remember watching the water and the camera work was so good. It just focused on that water.
That's Spielberg, man. He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's a filmmaking genius. I mean, he knew it was going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was something else. And that was when CGI kind of just started.
Well, that's the thing. And George Lucas was on set with him and, George and Steven were our best friends, good friends, did a lot of movies together.
Yeah.
Right. And he says, Steven, this is amazing what you've done here. And he says, George, we're doing this because of you, because of what you did with Star Wars.
Yeah, sure.
We're able to do this. And he says, what are you talking about? He goes, if you didn't do Star Wars, none of us would be doing what we're doing. Then that's when he decided to go back and redo A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back to the Jedi and added the scenes that he wanted to, that he just couldn't do in 1977. Right. So they were doing stuff in 1977 that had never been done before, right? Working with the models, working with the green screens.
Yeah, and to make it look like it did. Right. I mean, it was so realistic looking.
The funny thing about the Star Wars is a lot of cities bet against it, right? So I remember Tom Hanks, and he was at an award ceremony for George Lucas, and he said he lived in Cleveland in 1977. Mm-hmm. And he said Cleveland did not get Star Wars.
Really?
The rest of the country got Star Wars. And I forget the movie that I should have looked this up, but he said, we got this movie. And the rest of the next day in the papers was all Star Wars and everybody was the news. And he was like, we had to wait 3 months to get Star Wars because they were like, they thought, well, this is silly. This is a kid's movie. We're not going to be playing a movie about aliens in our theater.
Yeah. No, that movie definitely. After that movie came out, you want to talk about a movie taking over the country or the world. I mean, oh my goodness, there was Star Wars.
Just think about that. 1976 was Rocky. 1977 was Star Wars.
Yep.
Right. You got 1978. You got Rocky 2. Like,
Yeah, 79 was Rocky 2. 79 was Rocky 2.
Yeah,
And
79.
then
So,
an 80 was Empire Strikes Back.
right. Empire Strikes Back. I
Yeah.
mean, that was the start, people, of, I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was
82 was Rocky 3. And then I think 83 was Return of the Jedi.
83 was Return of the Jedi.
And then 84 was Karate Kid.
Just
kept going. It's
right.
like
85 was you got Rocky 4.
Rocky 4. Yeah.
86 was Top Gun. I mean, like I said before,
come on.
Anybody in the comments, I challenge you,
Mm-hmm.
come up with a better decade than the 80s for movies. You can't.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
the 70s and 80s.
If you talk that 10-year, 76 to 86.
Yeah. Nothing.
There's no 10-year span that could touch that.
No. And I understand we have the Godfather movies and we have some Gone with the Wind, and
hey, Godfather
don't
was
get me
only
wrong.
a couple of years priar. I mean, Godfather came out in 73.
But there's some huge movies, and you go back far enough. Of course, you're gonna get, you're gonna get White Christmas, and you're gonna get.
But now you're going back, to the 30s and 40s. I mean,
what I mean is, you're not gonna get a string of movies like that, and we can both agree you're not gonna get a 10 or 15 year span where they just knocked it out of the park. Right?
No. Like, it just every year it kept getting. And in some years there was 2 or 3 movies that came out at the same time. It was just unbelievable. I mean, and not only that, but they stood the test of time.
That's right.
We're still talking about them. It's 2022.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, some of these movies, they just hold up. Like, we talked about this last week. Top Gun holds up, right? Because it's not a situation like you said. It's not like they don't actually mention a situation. They just mention a enemy MiG. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter,
Which was smart to do that, because I mean, if you put it in a perspective of the Vietnam War, it'll never translate to 2022.
That's right.
But to make it just a generalization of Navy pilots and then enemy, it doesn't matter.
No, that's right.
Doesn't matter.
And I think we've lost that. In my opinion, we have. Anyways, we've lost that. Other than, I mean, Top Gun Maverick came out. It was pretty big. Jurassic World coming out. Now, the Marvel people may argue with me on this. It just doesn't have the same feel. Like, it just doesn't have the same feel when everybody's excited to go. You get a group of 10 people and go to the movies. Like, it's not like Star Wars or Jaws or E.T. It's not like Indiana Jones where you're just the whole, I want to say country, North America, the whole world.
No, it just takes over society by storm. It's Hulkamania, it's Star Wars mania, it's all those things. I mean, it takes over pop culture or whatever term you want to use. Like you said, it takes over society.
That's right.
And then it grows into what it is. Mm-hmm. Movies don't do that and don't last the test of time. There's no way a movie can make the entire society love it and want to see it, and the crowds cheering and stuff, and then you don't talk about the movie for 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I grew up on an island, and we would go to see the movie, and then we have a 20-minute boat ride. So you just sit and talk about the movie and what you liked about it, and the lines and the things that you laughed about, and the things that if you didn't like something about it, or when we like yourself, when are we going to go back and see that movie? Like, that was the fun part, and watching it again. And I mean, how many times you watched a Rocky movie and sometimes it feels like the first time, right? I don't know why, but but it's.
I agree. I told you this the last episode.
Yeah.
I was like, sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like, come on, Rock, put your hands up.
Yeah.
Like, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I look at Rocky 2 and he's Adrian's in the coma, and he won't leave her bedside, right? Like, and he's training, and he won't train, and Mickey can't get him to train, and Paulie doesn't want to talk to him, and it's just it grabs you. Like I said, Sly has that ability to know what the audience wants, right? Like, there's so many life lessons in those movies.
I mean, like, if you look at Balboa, and I'm not too proud to say, the end of Balboa, when Rocky goes to Robert's house and his grandson opens the door.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are. If you have children and you don't cry, you're a robot, because it's just every time though.
Mhm.
I mean, the first time, okay, it's touching, it's teary-eyed,
Yeah.
it's emotional,
Mhm.
but to watch it again and again and again, and it still happens, it still
Yeah.
makes you emotional, and still makes you go, oh man, and give you a
Well, as
little
soon as
light.
he, because the first line he says, you look like his mother.
Oh, I lost
You know
it.
what I mean?
I cried
And
like
then-
a baby.
And then it's Logan, right? Is the grandchild. And he
Yeah.
says, is that a ball? He goes, and Rocky can barely get out the words, yeah. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, you could hear it in his
Right?
voice. He's like,
Yeah.
I was just
So
in
he's
the
like,
neighborhood.
you want to
can't
play
even talk.
catch? And he's like, yeah, there you go.
That's
You
just
know?
so
And,
well written. So well
It
written.
is. And I mean, and that's Sly, right? That's
Yeah.
like he wrote every word, every line
Yep.
from Rocky to Rocky Balboa.
Yep.
Every single thing he like the good lines, the funny lines, the emotional lines, right? So I think I'd like to see what else he wrote that didn't make
Actually,
it.
I got to correct myself. Now that we just both said Balboa, I was saying Balboa and talking about the grandson, and that was Creed 2.
Yeah,
That's what an
you're
idiot
right,
I am
Tony.
right
You're
now.
right. Yeah, but and he wrote those lines for Creed 2.
Yeah.
So,
But that's what made me think about it. I'm like, I said
Yeah.
Balboa, but I wasn't even really paying attention, so I apologize.
Yeah, well, we got caught up in it, right? So,
I
but
did. But yeah, that was Creed 2, because
yeah,
the whole
so-
Creed 2 was all father-son,
right. That's
Both
right.
Dragos, were father-son story.
Mhm.
Adonis and Apollo, father-son story.
Mhm.
And Rocky and Robert. I mean, it was all the whole movie, as far as I'm concerned, was
Mhm.
about the father-son
Yep.
relationship in one form or another. Drago wasn't able to give the love and affection, the conditional love, like he was a robot. He was groomed by the Soviet Union.
That's right.
And then you had Apollo and Adonis. Adonis never even knew him.
Mhm.
It felt like
No,
he
that's
kept
right.
trying to prove himself to him. And then, of course, Robert and Rocky, which I would love to know, like, that backstory. I would love for them to write a book or something, like, after Balboa, like, why did Robert really feel the stress of being Robert Balboa so much that he had to leave Philly and he went up to Canada,
Right.
So it's like,
To Vancouver.
yeah. So it's like,
Remember?
why?
Like he
why
says,
did he go? Why did he leave?
Yeah. So there's another shout out to Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
He moved to a place called Vancouver with his girlfriend.
He's like,
So
I don't know where it is, but
Sly must really like Vancouver.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's beautiful.
I mean, because the Balboa ended on a good note, where they got along and they kind of saw eye to eye, and they got their relationship back, it seemed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was kind of surprised in Creed that he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad they brought him back in Creed 2. It was nice to have that ending. That was a perfect ending. So
yeah, no, that's good. And like I said, all his lines in Creed and Creed 2 that he had a hand in writing his lines.
Yep.
So no, you're right, Tony. That was Creed 2.
Balboa.
Wow.
Oh, see what happens when you get older. It's late. I'm almost sleeping. So it's. But at least I corrected myself, and I didn't have all the comments going, Tony, what are you talking about?
Well, it's Monday here in Canada. What day is it in Florida? I'm just kidding you.
What day is it in my head?
Yeah. Right. Listen, I'm a shift worker, and the first thing I ask people, they'll say, they'll talk about, so what's today? And they're like, it's Tuesday. I'm like, or they'll say the date, excuse me. They'll say, it's the 7th. I'm like, no, what day is it?
Yeah.
Because I work nights, I work days. And
right.
Anyways, that's my problem.
Fun part.
Yeah.
Well, this was good, pal.
This is great. And so anybody can find you on Instagram.
Yes, they can. At Stallion22, Tony. And again, all Rocky posts, motivational posts. Usually, the holiday posts, and I'll find some kind of Rocky twist on it. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Check me out.
Yep.
And then Mr. Tim over here is on there as well.
Yeah. And Mr. Tim has the more exciting at Tim Wistard.
You say that every week.
I know it's my my kids say, Dad, that's not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. That's why I come up with
just being honest.
Yeah, like they said, put a name in, so I put Tim Wistard.
Yeah, there you go.
I said, okay,
there you go.
But no, we're both on Instagram, guys, and check us out. Tell us what you thought in the comments. Tony, as always, this was so good.
Yeah, it was a good time. I enjoy doing this, so I really do. It's fun. And yeah, like you said, let us know in the comments. maybe an episode you want to hear about, maybe something you want to see put on the show. Like I said, correct us if we're wrong on some of the stuff we talk about.
Maybe we should do some Rocky Balboa trivia because
I'm telling you,
we somehow got a scene from Creed 2 in Rocky Balboa, but
not we. You didn't do it.
Well, I was talking about it. And I kept agreeing, and I was like, yeah, that's right, and that's right, and I'm like, and when you said it, I'm like, wait a minute, Jesus,
no, call me out, please.
Right
I wasn't even paying attention. I just saw the scene in my head, and then we were talking Balboa.
Yeah,
but yeah, let us know. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear, and we'll see what we can make happen.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So drop us a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button,
please.
We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, Round 14 the podcast. Check us out, and thanks so much, guys, for tuning in and having some fun with us, because hey, that's what it's all about, Tony.
It is. That's what it's about. See, I did it good that time.
And what'd you call me? Remember, you wanted to ask me if it was how it was spelled?
Oh, the hoser.
Yeah.
Hoser, eh?
Yeah, it's hoser with an S. Not Tony messaged me the other day and he says, "Ya hoser," and he spelled it Hozer, and I'm like, it's hoser. So no,
now I got it right. That's good.
We're just a couple
a couple
of guys having fun.
That's all right.
And sometimes we forget, but that's okay too.
That's all right.
Anyways, guys, thanks very much. Join us again, guys.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys.